So hello everyone, we're Sky and Mackayla, and today we welcome Miki Ratsula to the soundtrack of our lives. Miki will talk to us about their journey as an artist and their thoughts on the music industry and being a trans, non-binary artist nowadays. Welcome, we're really glad to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, we're so excited to have you here. So do you want to start off a little bit telling us how you fell in love with music and how did you decide to start on this journey?
It's funny because I don't want to sound cheesy when I say this, but like music has always been a part of my life. It's like as long as I can remember, I've been surrounded by music or interested in music, and I grew up with a grand piano in the home, so that was just a part of the home for me. And my family or my parents, there was a rule that I had growing up where I always had to be playing one instrument and playing one sport. So for me, that was soccer was a sport like my entire growing up. And then I started playing piano. And then I kind of got bored of playing classical music and realized I wanted to write music when I listened to Adele and Ed Sheeran for the first time in middle school. And I was like, I want to do that. So I was like, Dad, everyone's singing and writing on guitars, so I want to learn guitar now instead of piano. And so I did that. And I loved it. I loved listening to music. I loved making music. And I mean, granted, I was 13. So I was writing not great songs about things that have definitely not happened to me, but I was just making stuff up. They're really dramatic. But yeah, I just always have been doing music and have been encouraged to do music and celebrated while making music. I'm very grateful for that. I wish I could tell younger self that I didn't have to be embarrassed about making music, because I think that's definitely something I felt for middle school to high school was like, I can't tell anyone that I like this. But I'm really grateful that I was really supported growing up making music. More so than I even recognized until now. So yeah, it's just always been there, and it just felt something that was a part of me. I don't know life without music, so I just kept doing it. And as I got older and really had new life experiences and learned how to produce and learned how to just get better at everything, it just kind of all fell into place. Yeah.
Do you learn everything on your own, like production wise?
Production wise, yes. I mean, I took one school. I took one class when I was at San Diego State. I took one production class. That was just a really great intro to, I was already playing around with my DAW at the time and playing around with production, but it was a nice class to understand what is compression and why do we use it, stuff like that. But YouTube is great, and working with other producers is great because I learn I'm such a visual learner that I have to watching somebody do it. And so I've tried to teach myself in that way. And if I don't know, I look it up, or if I don't know, I just keep pushing buttons until something works, and then I just remember for next time. But I grew up learning piano and guitar and took vocal lessons, so I got a good base when I was younger. And once I got to a place where I knew how to play it, then I stopped going to lessons and I just learned as I will. By myself.
I think that's so. We have a piano in my house, and me and my 3 siblings all had to learn growing up. None of us play anymore, so I think it's so funny because it's right next to my dad's home office. It's kind of the living room, and it's just there's a piano there, and then his desk is there. And now the piano is used as a filing station for all of his stuff. And it's so funny because I'm like, why did none of us? We all had lessons. We all played. I could probably go back and play because I had the lessons and the foundation. As soon as we could learn to read, my parents were you're learning piano because we have a piano. And none of us did anything with it.
Right. Yeah. I think it's my dad. I definitely get the musical side from my dad. He sings in barbershop choir, and he also knows how to play the piano, and he sings really well. So him and I, when I was growing up, we would play together. So because it was a thing I would do with him, I think it really was also deeper than just learning the piano. It was something that was a core part of my upbringing. And I remember he showed me this website where I could get sheet music, And I'd be like, Dad, I want us to get the High School Musical book so we can sing those together. So we would like, sing the duets together because it was just like something that was so celebrated. And so I think that definitely helped that like my dad was musical, and so we would do that together. But that is, I'm very grateful to have grown up with a piano. Like my childhood, I don't want to have kids, but if I were, I would do the same. I'm going to have a piano in my house because I want it. But I think it just like, it was really something special. Like even if you don't play piano now, like learning that is just something that is, nothing can replace like learning an instrument.
I just think it's so funny because I've talked to so many musicians and they're all like, would kill to have a piano in their house growing up and like learn piano. And I'm like, I did. And I did nothing with it. I quit when I entered middle school because I just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and that's good. Then you figured out that that's not something that you wanted to do anymore, but you did it and like you learned the skill. And it is funny how had the same like experience, but we turned out quite different, I guess.
So weird, isn't it?
All right.
I have to say that I'm jealous. I didn't have a piano until I was like, I don't know, like 20, 21. I don't know, whenever I started college, I had to get like a piano, and we got like electric piano, and it's back home, so it's in another country,
right?
And now here I'm like, I really want to get a piano, but obviously I'm not gonna have it sent to me because that's probably gonna be more expensive than buying one here. But I think I was always jealous of people who grew up with more music in their family, like their parents being a little bit musical or something, because in my family I was the only one like into music.
It's so I don't get how people aren't, like obviously like there's like actually like being into performing and learning the instruments and stuff, but like, and of course because it's like all I've ever known is music, it's like so hard to comprehend like if there's I know there's people who don't think of music the same way, and I'm just like, I don't get how. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's everywhere.
Growing up, my entire family, I mean, aside from my dad, because he's just not that, he doesn't not like music. He's just not like super into music. Like he has this one Bob Marley CD that he plays all the time. But all my siblings and my mom were like really, really into music. And I was like, I want to be different. So I just took the stance when I was growing up that I just hated music. And then like in middle school, I started to like turn around and be like, okay, maybe it's not so bad and I can actually enjoy it while still being different.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel like I'm on this like wave right now of reflecting, like doing a lot of like reflecting on my childhood and being like, I get what my parents were talking about when they're saying that like I would value this like later in life, because like when you're in middle school, you're like, stupid. And I'm like, well, they were right about some things. Like I get it now. But I think I found out more recently that on my dad's side of the family, who is the more musical side, like his whole family is, a wedding gift that family gives is upright pianos, which I didn't know until more recently. I just thought it was a coincidence. Every single person in my family had an upright piano. I was like, that's so cool. And then like I found out like in the last couple of years, it's always my grandparents.
That's cool.
And that came out because like my fiance and I are getting married this summer.
Oh, exciting!
So,
congrats!
I'm kind of like, thank you. I was like, I already have an upright piano, but like I could,
use another one.
But also they're all in Finland and we're here in California, so I don't know how that's gonna happen, but I'm thinking about it. But I think like that's a cool little like thing I found out about my family more recently that I didn't even like register. So that was
So are
cool.
you gonna get married here or in Finland? Just wondering.
Well, we're legally gonna get married in the U.S., but our physical wedding is gonna be in Finland.
That's really cool.
Oh, that's so
we'll
cool.
like, have the marriage there, we'll have the wedding and stuff, and then like when we get back from our honeymoon, we'll like go to a courthouse and legally get married. Yeah, because it's like we don't live there. We would like to live there at some point, in our lives. Like I think that's like a further down the road goal. Definitely not anytime super soon. So it wouldn't make sense for us to be married in a country we don't live in. So
yeah, that makes sense.
But I mean, if
we did think about it,
if you wanted to, you could. Like, as you're having...
Yeah, because I'm a dual citizen.
Okay.
So I also have Finnish citizenship. So if we do move there, she would like, since we'd already be married, it would be really easy for her to like have this, like use my, whatever the word is, like, you know, like she would be recognized as my spouse, and then like she would be able to get citizenship eventually. Like we'd have to live there a certain amount of time, but it all works out. We've thought it through. But we did think about, cool, so my family's like, are you guys gonna get married here? You should. And we're like, yeah, I get it. Like I get it's exciting to you, but like we don't live there. Like we should be really married where we live. But...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is your fiance from Finland as well?
Nope, she's from Texas. So very clearly, like very literally the opposite that we could get. Now she grew up born and raised in Texas. And we were long distance for like 9 months while I lived in California. So I was born and raised here, and then we moved in together, and we've been together for 7 years now. And yeah, we get married in like 2 months.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
It is.
Wedding planning is, they say it's stressful, and then you're like, yeah, whatever, and then it happens. You're like, I get it. It's stressful, especially when we're not in the country where it's happening.
Yeah, that definitely adds a layer to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, moving on a little bit. Completely different topic now.
Yeah, cool.
So you will be playing at Pride in Nashville, and how do you feel about that?
I'm over the moon. It's bittersweet because I'm super excited. Obviously, it's like I played Kentuckiana Pride last year, so last year was my first Pride, and this time is my second Pride, but obviously a much bigger Pride. I think Nashville is one of the bigger Prides that happen, but you know, as a trans non-binary person, like going to Nashville is also a little terrifying right now. Just because, you know, everything's a little worse over there. And I was there last year on tour, just like briefly for a show. But I'm really excited because I think, you know, I mean, like, am I allowed to swear, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. I always forget to ask. I don't know, I feel it's like a very like big fuck you at the same time to like be on stage very openly queer and openly trans, and you know, obviously it's going to be very protected, and I'm going to be safe in that environment, but it's more so what happens outside that I'm a little more nervous about. But at least, you know, I have a team with me. I have, you know, people are aware, and it's fortunate that, not unfortunate, that doesn't carry enough weight. It's evil is happening over there, and it's frightening, and I just want to go sing, and I want to go perform, and you know, create a safe space for people, and just like kind of heal in that moment together. And it's evil that we have to have this in the back of our minds of like, shit's going down here, and you know, there's real life like shit happening once we leave the, you know. So it's a little more nerve-wracking as we get closer, because I am very lucky to live in California. I'm very safe here. I don't spend a lot of the time in places where I'm not safe, and that's a privilege that I have. So as long as I think I keep my team aware, and you know, keep our eyes peeled. But it's the first time I'm going there since all the laws got a lot worse. So, but on the other side, I'm very excited because it's going to be huge and fun. And I'm playing near the evening, so it's going to be like a lot of people, and it's an honor to be invited. So I am excited.
That's very exciting.
Are you going to be doing any Pride stuff here in California?
I haven't gotten anything like coordinated yet. I would love to if it happens, but it's interesting. Pride stuff, like, I feel like I either hear about Pride stuff like way far in advance or like right before June.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fun.
Yeah,
if you get to do anything out here.
Yeah, it's like flying is, I don't love to fly, so it's also nice to not have to do that.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, but I love it at the same time. It's hard. I like enjoy being in the plane. To like take off. The
takeoff and the landing. Everything else is fine.
Oh, the takeoff. My brother who like is a pilot, basically. Like, without having a pilot's license, he's a pilot because he does like the simulation stuff. So he knows like planes inside and out. I don't care how many times he explains to me how it works. It will never make sense to me.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
It just scary.
Yeah. Oh God. Let's not talk about it because then you have to fly to another country.
I do. I fly a lot for someone who's scared of flying. Like, I say I'm scared of flying, and then it's like literally that moment, and then as soon as I'm in the air, I'm like, cool. It's just that
Initial moment.
Whatever. Ugh, yeah.
This is going to be my first time going to Pride. I'm very excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I'm bisexual and asexual. So the first time I was going to go was senior year of high school, but then the only date that worked for my graduation party was the date of Pride in Boston. So I couldn't go. And then, I'm in Boston. And then COVID happened. So, and then I haven't been able to go since.
So that's exciting.
I'm very excited.
I honestly, like, I don't think I've been to Pride as like a guest. I think technically, like I'll go to Pride things, but I don't. Okay, actually, no. The only Pride festival I've been to as a guest was Helsinki Pride, actually, in Finland, like I think it was summer before COVID,
2019.
That was the first like Pride parade I've walked in, and first festival was Helsinki Pride, and then Kentuckiana Pride I played at last summer, and then Nashville Pride this time. So I've never actually been to like a California Pride. It was really cool in Kentuckiana Pride last summer because Kentuckiana Pride, it was in Louisville, and I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm so bad at that part of the U.S., which is Kentucky, and it's on the border of Kentucky and Louisiana, I think. So it's like those two states, that's their pride. So it's really, it was like bigger than I thought it would be, but the Pride parade made me emotional because it was like in an area of the U.S. that's not nearly as welcoming as where I'm from, and so I was like, the parade was happening like in front of our hotel before we were going to the venue to play, and we were watching it and watching just like all these families walk by, and like, you know, queer families and queer parents with their children, or you know, not queer parents with their queer children, and like it was just so empowering to watch it truly be about like Pride. Because I think the problem with LA Pride and stuff like that I don't like is it's so fucking commercial that it's like at one point it doesn't honestly even feel safe anymore. It's just like a party for a bunch of people to go to who say they like gay people, you know? And it's like, so watching it be in an area where like they really need it, and it's like they have to fight for it. Like I was like sobbing, and I don't cry easily in that sense. I cry when I have like my own issues I deal with, but like that, like me and my band were all just like crying because it was like, look at these families, like just like so happy to be celebrating themselves in an area that like they have to fight for literally just this moment. It was really special, and I was really like honored to be a part of that and to witness that, and it was really special.
That's awesome.
It's always like special to go to your first Pride and be like, you know, this is like we're celebrated, and you know, and whatever the other word is that I can't remember right now. I can't remember. Yeah, no. I'm really bad at certain words. I forget.
That's fine. That happens to me all the time. So
all the time.
I'm all the time trying to figure out what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So that's great. Yeah.
Okay, so first of all, congratulations on your new song. Yeah, I mean, I love it. What can you tell us about it? Was it hard to put out there?
Yeah, so what would the neighbors think? It's funny because when you said new song, I was like, I put out a new song, and then like on Friday. This weekend has been such a blur. Anyways, what would the neighbors think? Yeah, it was a song that I wrote. It wasn't a year ago. It was like, I think like end of last year, like last fall. So like half a year ago or so. And I think we wrote it in like, I want to say it was like September of last year.
Okay.
So ish, I think. God, I could be lying. Anyways, so it's a song about, you know, having a person in your life that, you know, you're so close to, and you have this relationship with them where they are dealing with their own things, and you know, they find you kind of find them choosing other people and kind of leaving you kind of behind and not showing up for you in the same way that you show up for them. And it's this cycle that I find myself in with some relationships that are like, I know what I put into the relationship and I don't feel that back.
Yeah.
And, I'm trying to talk to you about what you could do to fix this because I love you and I value this relationship. But that person cares more about like what the outside world thinks and how they come across, that they aren't even willing to like listen to like my concerns and whatever. And so it's a cycle of like, please like hear me, I'm hurting, you're hurting me, and then they just don't listen because they just care about what these like neighbors think, quote, neighbors, and it sucks. And I feel like I wrote that song about like a specific person in my life, but as this song has expanded as I'm working on it and as like just time naturally moves on, I find it unfortunately relating to other relationships since. And that's even harder because I think that's been something that's been kind of a mind fuck, to know that I wrote a song about someone and then as time goes on I'm like, wait, how does it relate to this person now too? Like, damn it, like manifest this, like I don't want this, But so, and it's hard though too because I find myself, especially online right now, like how do I talk about a song and promote a song that comes from a very difficult place in my life that I'm still dealing with to this day, and deal with even I have been dealing with and new things to deal with. Anyways, how do I promote this song without jeopardizing my mental health and I'm being too vulnerable where I'm uncomfortable and I'm hurting and I'm dealing with like real life repercussions, So that's been, I think, the hardest part with this song is like, it's one of my favorite songs off the upcoming record, but it's the most personal in a sense of like, it's not, hey, this is what I dealt with and here's the story. It's like, I'm actively still working on this and actively still dealing with said person and said relationship. So it's been difficult because the reality is like people are nosy and people are also, there's this weird sense of entitlement lately that I've noticed, like especially on TikTok, where they're like, you're sharing that this song is about this type of relationship. Well, I'm gonna assume all these things and I'm gonna like, you need to tell me who it's about. And it's like I've given you the context that you need to know, like my personal life, and like people are having a hard time accepting that, and I think that's making me have a harder time talking about the song, because it's like, as artists and as people, like I have been hurt by someone and this is how I heal. I write music to heal. And the reality is like other people experience that I share, what's healing for them is like, I have also struggled with that. Like, was it wrong for me to write this song? Was it wrong for this kind of like, I have this like internal dilemma, and I don't know, I love this song and I'm excited to see where it goes and to see how people respond to it. But it's I think it's the hardest song I've put out thus far because of how hard like behind the scenes is for the reason the song even happened. So it's interesting, but it's like this is what I want to do as an artist. I want to be vulnerable to as far as I'm comfortable, which is typically pretty far until people don't know when to like accept my boundaries. But yeah, it's been good. Like I said, I forgot it was out. I realized it was out like for 2 days now. I was
so you mentioned that this was your favorite off the upcoming record. What can you tell us or what can you share about it?
So I have promised not to give away too much of the upcoming record because I like to do that. And then I realized I probably, but I can say that this upcoming record builds off of my first one story-wise. The first album was very about my self-discovery journey of like, hi, like I'm Miki, nice to meet you. This is how I got to where I am. This is like the internal struggle I've had. And now I'm at this point where now I know myself. I'm confident in myself and my queer identity and my gender identity. And now it's like this space post that like now that I'm here, it's like, like I'm tired of letting people walk over me and not accept my boundaries or treat me a certain way. So it's like kind of standing up for myself, but also like a big fuck you to like a certain list of people that inspired this album. One especially being an ex-team member of mine that I actually had to fire right before my first album came out because he was transphobic and emotionally abusive, and he inspired like half the album. Right away, I just started writing this album. So it's very much this like almost like a redemption type of album of like, I'm here and it took me a while to get here, but now that I'm here, like, do not fuck with me. Like, I'm tired and I deserve better. So it is more definitely more mature, and it's I think it's like a darker topic of an album. Like it's a darker record. The lyrics, like, it's not happy, but sonically it sounds more positive than the first. So there's definitely like a lot more pop elements to it, a lot more upbeat elements to it, but it's fucking sad at the same time. So
Okay. Do you know when it's coming out, or do you have is it like this year, next year?
I don't know. And I do know, but I'm not allowed to say. But I can say that it will be like this year.
Okay.
In this year, but I can't say anything else outside of that.
No,
I mean,
very understandable.
That's fine. Yeah. We're just
I do that with everybody. I'm like, oh, let me tell you everything. And I'm like, there are reasons I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's understandable. We just, we're just curious. We just
good.
We're not gonna try to trick you into saying it.
No, I believe you. No, don't worry. I'm not afraid of you guys. Don't worry. Yeah, it will be this year though. So I'm just really excited to continue, sharing my story and sharing the harder side of the story that I do know, unfortunately, a lot of people relate to.
Yeah. I think I just personally like, I think I mean, I love your music. I feel like it's very, how do I put it? I don't know. There's something like special in your voice that is just like calming. It doesn't matter how sad this song is. It's just like, oh, this song is like so calming, but then the lyrics are like sad or whatever.
Right.
So
that's so nice. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So, yeah, just excited to hear what's coming.
It's so funny you say that because I actually yesterday just got this TikTok comment again. I hate TikTok. I love it. The people on there are ruthless. I got a comment that was like, someone was like, I noticed in all your songs, your tone is the same. Are we going to get anything different? Like something like that. And I was like, I mean, like, yeah, I get what you're saying. Like the next record will have a little bit more like indifference, but I'm like, that's just like my voice. Like my voice is soft and in one tone. It was just kind of funny. But
I mean, I
like it. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's unique. I feel like I don't know, it's different. So
definitely,
I do enjoy listening to the music. Like,
I think that's something too that like is also just very true to like my sound is like, as I've explored like this, I can say this next record explores quite a few different genres, and more sound in like the production sense. I definitely have gotten better as a producer. So I really just had fun with producing this album. But something that is true to my sound is like the way my voice is. It's like fitting my voice into all those different genres is what ties them all together. So yeah, person on TikTok.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, they're not obligated to listen to anything they don't want.
I think that's what I'm like. I get so like, I'm like just don't listen.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
move on.
Listen to me.
It's so easy to just scroll to the next one if you don't like it.
Yeah, that's the thing is like when people are like, especially when they leave like something transphobic, that's like ew, or like I don't want to see this. It's like, or I don't care. It's like you cared enough to stop and comment. Like, if you don't like, Jesus Christ, I swear to God, TikTok is so funny to me. It is really funny. But I'm also very grateful for the platform because it is a great way to reach people. And it's definitely taught me to like, I've learned how to love blocking I've learned how to love to block people. Did I say that right?
It makes sense. Yeah,
sounds right.
I'll just go on blocking sprees. I'm like, this feels so horrible. you don't even know that I'm blocking you right now.
Yeah. I think it's just I don't know. I feel like haters are always like taking this extra time to leave comments. It's just like, if I don't want to see something, I'll just keep scrolling or just click on not interested so I don't get anything else.
And it's so much easier to just keep going too. I'm like, hey, you know what? I'll take the engagement. I'll take it. Yeah. But if I really piss you off, but that's the thing too, is like, I don't know whose quote it is, but like, the reality is like, I think that's the other hard part is like, as a trans person, as an openly trans artist, is like, I'll have days where for some reason I get an influx of like transphobic messages. Like it'll be like it's like a cycle. It'll be like a couple days where it's just like the only comments I get are a bunch of transphobes, and it can, because it's not, obviously no one wants to see someone talking about like how you should kill yourself or whatever it is. Like people can get really fucking mean, and it's this huge bitter pill I have to swallow of like, this is what comes with the territory, is like being open and being very vocal and putting myself out there. Like it comes with the reality is there are going to be people who don't like me. Like not liking how my voice sounds and not liking my music is one thing. Transphobes, obviously, like that's a lot more evil and shouldn't be like accepted. Like I need to accept like not everyone's gonna like my music. That's fine.
Yeah,
that's like one thing that like very quickly I was like, I get it, not everyone's gonna like it, but it is I get a quite healthy reminder every once in a while of like, this is the lifestyle that I want to, not lifestyle in a queer sense, but like as a as like a public figure, I guess, is like, you're gonna get people who say awful shit to you, and it's like, if I let every single one of that get to me, I'm not gonna survive in this world and not in this lane. And like I have definitely got a lot like better at just being like, it's just some stranger, I'm just gonna block them and move on. But it took me a while to get to that space. But do every once in a while, like when it's a lot at once, it can be kind of heavy, and being like, what just sucks that that's the reality at some point, that like people not only just like, people are gonna hate me for my music. Yes, I don't get it. I don't get hate, sure, unless it's like awful, but or like, I mean like awful in a like bigoted way, but just like, yeah, it's just it's like living in this bubble in California that I'm very privileged to live in. I'm very safe. I can like go like garden outside shirtless, and no one's gonna come by. I feel very safe where I live. I feel safe like in my environment. But yeah, it's like on the internet that I'm reminded very quickly that a lot of the people in this world like are not okay with who I am, just like as a person. And that's just something that I hope to continue to tackle. I mean, it's not something that's like only one person can do, and it's a whole movement that needs to happen. But it can be a lot, and it's very it can be very shocking sometimes.
Yeah. So I think I'll never understand why people care so much what you're doing with your body or who you're sleeping with. Like, why do you care?
It doesn't affect you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, like move on.
That's the hard. Like, especially, so I have like very visibly thick scars. Like you can I have keloid scars from like on my chest from my top surgery. So like when I post shirtless photos or whatever, it's like, yes, I get it. I have thick scars. Like I've seen myself. I know. I love it. I love my scars. I'm very happy with my body. But it's fucking wild that like just people will just say the weirdest stuff. And I'm like, dude, why do you care how my scars look? I'm never going to see you in real life, probably. You're just some stranger on the internet. Yeah. I will never, ever understand, because I'll never be that person who's like, who sees anybody's post and is like, hey, your scars look horrible. You should get that checked out. Like, I can't imagine doing that.
Yeah.
And it's sad that that's just like, that some people are like that. But like you guys said, I will never understand what it would be like to be that person.
And also, like, for people that believe that, like, if you're part of the LGBT community, if you're going to hell, why does it matter? You're not gonna, like, they're gonna go to wherever they believe. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
What if I want to go to hell?
Exactly. That's the thing. Is like, you really are going to be like, when you are in heaven, you're going to be like, that one person is stuck in hell and I'm really sad about it. Like, that's not what you don't care about me. You don't care. That's that. I agree with you. I feel like that's when it's like comes from this weird like savior complex of like, I don't want you to go to hell. I'm like, you don't care if I go. Hell sounds great.
Nice and warm.
Yeah, warm. Who wants to go to cold heaven? Yeah.
So when everything does get too much, what do you do for yourself?
That's a great question, because that's definitely been something that I've worked on the last year. I have to after going to blocking spree, I usually go on a blocking spree. Some days I feel like I'm just like, you know what, fuck you, I'm gonna yell at you back. And then I like to be really snarky back in comments, or I'm overly nice. I'll do one of those. It's not necessarily healthy that I do this. This is just sometimes I have to get it out of my system. But usually I will just block people, and then I'll put my phone down and I'll go watch some sort of TV show that makes me happy, or like I'll go on a walk with my dogs and my fiance, or go to the gym or something. Like I have like things that I truly enjoy doing. But what's most important for me is to put my phone away, because otherwise, like, I have a bad habit of continuing to go look for them. Sometimes, like, when I'm in that space of like an influx of transphobes, I'm just like, fuck, I'm pissed off and I want to go yell at them, which I know, because every time I do that, I don't ever actually feel better. Like, I might feel better for a little bit, but my fiance has been great at being like, she'll just yell at me if she sees me looking at my phone after. She's like, you know how you're going to feel after, so don't do it. So yeah, like after I go on a blocking spree, I, take time away from my phone and just spend time with like my fiance, or, with my dogs, or work out. I love weightlifting, so I'll love to go do that, and just because I feel like you get so many, like, I just gotta like move. I'm a very restless person. So when I'm really feeling heavy things, like I just have to be like, I'll pace around the house. But the biggest thing is to just like get away from the social media, like wherever it's coming from, because I will go down a hole if I allow myself to, like, even sometimes just like blocking them and trying to stay on the platform, I'll still feel everything. Like I have to separate myself from it. But I am still working on it. It is something that, takes, I think, time to really develop a healthier relationship with myself there. But that was a good question.
Yeah.
No, that's good. Like, was it hard for you to maybe discover your own sound and maybe try not to sound too similar to maybe other people you listen to?
Yeah, I think that is something that I think, while I was really developing my production like technique and skill, I really got into production. Like I really found like an interest for production in like 2019, but it wasn't until like COVID hit and I'm just in my house all day that's also when I started working on the first record, that I just like would produce every day. And I really found this, like, I just found so much fun in it, and I would just like make beats all the time and then start making songs. And then I was fortunate enough to be able to produce for a couple other artists. And I think that's where I was really able to figure out what was Miki's sound, because it was like, I'll produce for someone else and be like, all right, my instinct would be to do this. Right. And I would do that. And then I would discover, like, okay, if I do that, now it sounds too much like a Miki song. Or I'm like, wait, that doesn't sound like that artist. That's my sound, So it was like having to bring my own sound as a producer, but not my sound as an artist. Like, figuring out that balance was really good for me as an artist, because I was able to figure out what is actually my sound and what makes my sound, my sound. I think it really does come a lot from my voice, as we talked earlier. And I also just love to play with my voice as like an instrument. Like I'm a sucker for fucking harmonies and doubles, and I just will, I'll get to a point in the song where I'm like, all right, now it's time to just spend days recording vocals on this until like something sticks, and I'll just like play it over and over and just sing until like to fill in these spaces. I think that's like really what makes like my specific sound, is just filling in what's left with just vocals.
Mhm.
And just like not even like in a traditional sense of just like literally making noises, not noises like singing some, you know, and really just like throwing a lot of reverb on it and just filling that space. But that mixed with like, I feel like I find myself now in this sound of like, what feels right to me is like I will always want to stay in touch with like the singer-songwriter deep inside that like started on the ukulele, started on the guitar. Like I always have to have some sort of like organic acoustic element. But I also really fucking love like playing around with like electronic sounds and really expanding in that world and just like making something like fucking fun and it sounds cool, but like having that like if you take away all that stuff, you hear just like me and a guitar or me.
Yeah.
At the root, that's where they all start. So yeah, it's been fun figuring out my sound like while working for other people. That's what really made it clear for me. I get out of breath when I'm talking. Sorry. I'm realizing this now. Like I have to like take a breather after. Sorry. Just like hear me breathing.
It is important to breathe.
That's okay.
So.
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of ADHD, so like sometimes I haven't been taking my medicine. This is probably I probably should have.
Yeah. I think it would be interesting seeing one of your sessions, like how you start building your session and your instruments and your tracks and everything. Because just like you said, sometimes you're just doing vocals all the time and stacking them. I think that's, I don't know, I just love seeing that type of things. I don't know if you've seen like Billie Eilish, how she starts producing with Phineas and all that, and when they start stacking vocals, I think that's one of my favorite things to see.
It's so
all
cool.
that process, yeah.
The way they do it is so cool, and yeah, this actually happened a couple times while making this record. Is like I would get to a point production wise, and I was like, it just doesn't feel done, but I couldn't figure it out, and I couldn't figure out whether it was a production thing or whether it was like the song. And then I would remind myself, like, all right, I just have to sit with my mic and just like sing shit. And I would do that. And then I would like, after I have like my day of singing shit on a song and I like organize it, whatever. And then I'm like, there we go. That's what was missing. Like, I kind of have to remind myself that like, that is what feels very right to me and feels very instinctual to me. And so, that happened like multiple times where I was like, fuck this song. I'm tired of it. Can't figure out when I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't had my little like daytime vocal day, whatever, and then I do that and then it feels great. But yeah, I've thought about like streaming on Twitch of like my production, and then I should have to find the time to do that. But I've thought about doing that. I think about a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas, and then I forget to do them.
Never enough time.
There's not enough time in the day.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't.
We could get so much more done.
I love sleeping. Right? We didn't have to sleep.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to jump to our section called Question No One Wants Answers To, where we try to answer the most ridiculous questions.
Love it.
Do you want to start, Sky, or shall I?
You can start. I don't know. These questions are always hard for me.
Okay. What fictional workplace would you like to get a job at?
Fictional workplace. Fictional is fake,
Correct.
right?
Like something from a series or something, or a movie?
Yeah, so like a made up, or something from like a movie or a TV show or a book.
I think I'd love to work at the Krusty Krab. I love SpongeBob. I love SpongeBob. Yep, I would think I'd want to work at the Krusty Krab. I just want to have one of those burgers. I want to learn how to make it.
Would you have like Bob's job, or what job would you do in there?
Oh, that's a good idea.
We could just add on. You could be like a second SpongeBob.
Right. I would just be like another fry cook. Yeah. Or I could be like I would be the host.
Okay.
I feel like there's no one there who's like, hey, welcome in, you know? It's like there's just Squidward just like sells stuff. There's no one who's like excited to like, you know, make sure everyone's okay. I'm just a big Krusty Krab fan.
Okay. What about you, Sky?
I don't know. I want to say, like work in the Central Perk from Friends. I mean, I don't know. I love coffee, so
Great.
probably that would work, I guess. What about you?
I would have to say either working for the Parks Department in Parks and Rec or Dunder Mifflin in The Office.
That's a good one. I love Parks and Rec.
I feel like that would be very fun.
Okay.
That's a show.
Because it's also like you don't really work. You just have fun.
Oh, I could also work at the motel in Schitt's Creek. Or what's the like Rose Apothecary? Rose
Apothecary? No, that's not right.
Something like that. It's a word like that. Rose something. The flower shop.
Apothecary.
That's what it is. Apothecary. I would work there. Either there or the Krusty Krab. But they'd have to like stay 2D animated. Actually, that would be weird. No, I'd want to see myself animated in SpongeBob. That's
What
the only
kind
way.
of underwater creature would you be? Or would you be yourself?
Well, that's what I'd have to talk to the team at SpongeBob about that. I think would I be? Well, because whenever they have humans in the show, they're like humans. They're not. So, but like, I would love to see myself as like a shark.
That'd be interesting.
I would want them to like animate me as like a buff shark, and then I'd work at the Krusty Krab.
Like similar to like what's that lobster that's the lifeguard?
Yes, Larry the Lobster.
Yes, Larry.
Like I gotta be like, I would be working out with him. He'd probably be one of my friends.
I was also thinking you could be what's his name? It's like the king. Is it like a siren? What is it?
Oh yeah. It's oh my gosh. Is it I know who you're talking about, but I can't remember the name. Actually where I'd actually really want to work. Scratch all my other answers because Monsters Inc. is my favorite movie of all time. So I would want to work at Monsters Inc.
Okay.
Which position would you take?
I would love to be on the scare floor.
Okay.
I would.
Would you be somebody scaring?
Yes. Yeah. But like like at the end of the movie, they're like making them laugh. It would be like
so it's like the laugh floor.
The laugh floor. So it'd be like the end of Monsters Inc. when they have like developed into a laughing factory. Like they get it. That's what I want to do.
So you don't want to scare young children. You want to make them laugh.
I would love to just go in and just fucking be weird as like some cool monster. That is my dream job in a fictional. I'm an external processor, which I've learned recently through therapy and what even that is. So like on interviews, whenever there's questions like this, I know myself that I have to answer 3 or 4 times until I actually figure out what my real answer is. So now that I've thought out loud and said it out loud, I realize now my answer is Monsters Inc. 1.
Yeah, but there's so many answers to these questions. I don't think any of the answers, they're all fun.
Prepared, so I've never thought about this before.
Yeah, that's why.
This is why we're asking. These are the most important questions of this interview.
And honestly, like I'm gonna be thinking about it all day, and then when my fiance gets home, I'm gonna ask her.
I mean, you can always. You can always send us an email, and then we'll try to add it back.
I'll email you guys. I'll say this. I have no idea what she'll think.
Okay, so if you could add a word to the dictionary, what would you add, and what would it mean?
I was gonna ask that one.
Can it be like? Can it be a made-up word? Is it supposed to be a made-up word?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I guess something that is not in the dictionary.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not someone who reads the dictionary a lot, so I have no idea what is or what's not in the dictionary, but I'll think about it.
Like, is there a word you use often that you like made up or something? I don't know.
Yes, probably, and I just have to unlock it in my brain. Hold on. I feel like there's probably something I call our dogs. Like, we call our dog's name is we have 2 dogs, but we have one of the dogs is a pug, and her name is Roo, like ROO, and she's not like a dog. She's more like Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. She's like she's the funniest fucking thing in my life is that little creature pug. So like we have a lot of nicknames for her. So I feel like probably I like to call her lately. I call her Rucifer, and I feel like Rucifer could be in the dictionary for like when someone or something is like just like a weird little thing, you know,
Okay.
like just a quick little speedy little thing that you're like, God, you're being a little Rucifer, you know.
I like it.
That's probably what I would do. Inspired by her. She's so cute. She's so silly.
Man, I can't think of anything. Like, I don't.
You know what? I mad respect to you guys for asking these questions and not having the answer prepared beforehand. In a good way. In a good way. Because otherwise, I feel like thought this through. Yeah.
No, we have a gigantic list of so many questions, and we just
Yeah.
pick.
So we're not prepared either.
That's great. No, I feel like we're on the same level now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of a word. I feel like I don't. I probably do use made up words, but I can't think of them right now.
I want to say that. So I don't have a word right now, but I feel like as someone whose English is not the first language, sometimes I make up words to compensate whatever I'm trying to say. So I feel like sometimes I would like to add those words.
What other languages do you speak?
I speak Spanish.
Cool. So do you find yourself speaking like Spanglish sometimes?
No. So I'm actually really bad switching languages. Like I cannot.
Oh,
Yeah, my brain cannot.
I'm kind of like that with Finnish because I speak Finnish as well.
Yeah.
Like if someone asked me to speak Finnish right now, someone would be like, "You guys." It would. It takes me a second to like switch.
Yeah.
Like my brain into being like, "Oh, we are speaking an entirely different language now." I relate to that. So
Yeah. No, I struggle so much. Like sometimes.
English and Spanish, completely different worlds. That's how I am. It's like English and Finnish.
Yeah.
There's no like accidental.
Yeah.
I have to be on.
Sometimes I'm like, someone asks me like, "Oh, could you translate that for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm like, trying to think what it could be in English, and I'm like,
yeah.
And they were like, "Wow, that really took you a long time."
Yeah, they're like, "Do you speak the language?" I'm like, "Yeah, I really do. I promise." I just have to turn it on. It's like warming up. Yeah, I can relate to that.
So like I can know random like words in another language. Like I'm good at remembering like random words. But when it comes to making sentences or grammar, I can't do that, which is like kind of the main part of speaking another language and
It's
not
really
knowing
hard.
random words.
It's like when you really think about what language is, like it makes sense why it's hard to learn it. There's a lot of rules.
Yeah. I tried to learn Portuguese. Like I can understand a little bit. I can obviously read some of it. But when I was taking classes, I found myself trying to understand Portuguese from the English point of view instead of Spanish, when Portuguese is obviously closer to Spanish than English. But in my mind, since I studied English for so long, it only made sense to like kind of try to relate both of them.
Nope. That's so interesting.
So,
wow.
Yeah. What's weird?
Yeah. So I almost failed out of Spanish in high school.
I took French for some reason. And I was like, I speak Finnish, so I'm going to take French. I don't know. It didn't stick with me either.
Okay. So we didn't figure out any words to add on our.
No, we did.
Oh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, sorry. That one's a very
right now. Otherwise, I'd show you.
I have with me. I have a Chuck. I guess it's like a Chihuahua pug.
Chihuahua pug.
Yeah,
my dad's girlfriend has a Chihuahua pug.
So, okay. Do you, Mackayla? Do you have another question? Do you want to ask random question?
Which two animals would you have swap sounds?
Imagine if like snakes like meowed. Like, wouldn't it be so cute? Like, I feel like they wouldn't be as scary. Like, if it was like coming down, it was like meow, you know, and then I'd be like, well, you know what? You're not so scary anymore. That was my first.
But like a giant boa constrictor meowing at you?
Yeah,
I think that'd still be scary.
Well, the hint is they can't hiss.
Okay.
Because otherwise that would make sense, because that's close to what they do. Like, it'd have to be like the type of meow that's like, and not the yelling meow. Like, they could only do the like meow, you know,
like the little kitten one.
Super cute, like like when cats talk to you, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have a cat who just will like sit at the stairs and just talk to us. So like I can imagine a snake doing that would be like really cute.
I don't know. They'd still scare me.
They do freak me out. They're just gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're weird.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why that's my first instinct.
That's interesting. I feel like I would have maybe a fish barking.
That's cute. Or like a dog mooing could be cute.
Yeah.
Or, like,
Yeah.
that'd be cute.
Trying to think like of it. Like I think it'd be funny to switch like some sort of like an ant or something and have ants make like these really loud, obnoxious sounds because that would drive us all crazy.
But again, you can find them easier and kill them.
That's true.
But would you be actually able to hear them? Because they're like so small though.
That's true. That's pretty loud. That would have to be.
Yeah, that's a good
Can their
point. I
little
didn't think about
body
that.
Produce that sound. Come here.
One last question. So, if 4 out of 5 people suffer from diarrhea, does that mean the 5th one enjoys it?
If it's like, look, I can feel like if it's one where it's like it all comes out in one push, I can understand why it would be like enjoyed, you know? So like using your example, like if that's how their diarrhea experience is every time, I could see it being like great. I feel empty and clean afterwards, you know?
I wouldn't say enjoyed. I think it'd just be more like it wouldn't be as bad of an experience.
The question is whether like that fifth
Yeah.
enjoys it because they suffer.
Yeah.
I can understand it. I can understand if the answer is that they enjoy it. I can understand.
Yeah. I mean, or it could be like they completely don't enjoy it, but they also don't suffer. Like it's just,
Or maybe it's just
Like
never
it just
or
is.
they just never have diarrhea.
yeah,
That would be
interesting.
nice.
Yeah. Okay, that was some really, really important questions we needed to answer. Now we are going back to regular schedule. Yeah.
So, what are some of the challenges that you have faced as a trans non-binary musician, and how have you overcome them? Or, still overcoming?
The biggest one was when I first came out was, like I said, I had to fire an ex-team member because it just like he just would say the worst bigoted stuff about like being trans and also just bad. So like firing him was like something I had to like directly do. Like you're not being the safe space. Like you are literally, your job is to represent me and you're doing the opposite. And you're also like just being a bully. So I'm going to fire you. So that was like I fired him too. I was like a week post top surgery. So it was like very like also symbolic because I was like literally going through such an experience for myself. But yeah, when I first came out, like it was, I feel like a lot of especially men in the industry, a lot of cis men in the industry, and a lot of cis gay men, honestly. Like I feel I've realized like a lot of gay men who are cis, like honestly aren't even any better than straight men. It's just like any cis gay men truly in the music industry, like more times than not, just view me as like some weird girl instead of like actually a non-binary and like trans. And I can tell there's this weird, they don't know what to do with me. And so like that is definitely like I think the most like prominent thing that I deal with in the industry is like when I show up in spaces, it's like, no, hi, I'm Miki, my pronouns are, just do it, like don't. I think I'm kind of surprised how often I'm misgendered. I think it's especially in California and especially like the music industry being so heavy in California, like it shouldn't be happening as often. And like, going to venues and I think the venue should be supplied with the artist's pronouns and should get that right,
Definitely.
or in your
Or do
space.
a little research. It's not that hard.
Yeah, so it's very common, especially at venues, that I'm misgendered. And I mean, I'm very grateful to have people on my team who will like go correct people for me. But even then, like the people working there like won't listen, so it's like it's like I'm in your space, you should address me properly. But I think like it's I don't know. I think it's a lot of just ignorance about what being non-binary is, about what being trans is, and the music industry like is very focused. I feel like has been so focused on just highlighting like cis gay men that I've been in the room with plenty of cis gay men who like feel like they're like, look, we're the queer community, you know, and it's like we're not in the same boat. Like you are still like a cis person who needs to like do better work to make sure you're showing up for like the people in your community. If you want to talk about community, like I am, you know, so it's there's just a lot of really ignorant people and yeah, I think the biggest thing is I just like a lot of people just view me as just this weird girl thing, you know, they don't really know. It's just like, let's not do this little game, you know, just like fucking look it up. Like you don't have to understand to respect me, you know. It's like the main thing besides like having to literally fire someone because he was like just so invalidating and created an unsafe space for me. But on the flip side, I feel like I've gotten to know like a lot of really great like you know, femme people and a lot of just queer artists and queer producers and queer people. Like the shoot yesterday, we were all queer people working on it, and that's like what I want to create. And you know, queerness outside of just cis gay men. And it's been nice. Like on that flip side is really finding my community there and the people I want to work with there, because yeah, there's just a lot more. It just I don't know. Like it's just exhausting, you know. Like yeah. There I go, out of breath again.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. So what are your thoughts on artists being accused of queer baiting?
That's difficult because I guess like the term queer baiting is like, I forget like I've heard people talk about like what its definition is. I think queer baiting is less of my concern, and it's more of like profiting off of queerness when you're not. I think that's like, to me, feels more concerning than queer baiting, because it's like when you start focusing on queer baiting, to what degree are you policing someone's queerness? You know, what if someone's not out yet, or what if someone, you know, whatever it is. It's like I can think of people who I would consider would be queer baiting, but it's like when you start policing that, like it kind of can become a snowball where then it's like, how are we, you know, it kind of becomes a counterproductive. I think like people profiting off of queerness is more of an issue of
yes,
like cis het artists were people in industry who, you know, use queerness as some sort of ploy to just make money, or to like I will never understand why cis het people headline a pride festival, for example. Like, just because you're a bigger name, I do not care. It's literally not your space to do that. It's like things like that. Like that is what's more aggravating, is like that space should be for queer people. Or there's a way that I've seen, like, back to cis gay men in the industry, I've seen them, you know, talk about, you know, trans issues, which is great. Use your platform to stand up for trans people in the community. But at what point are you taking away that space for actual trans people to be taking that space? Like, I've seen that happen where it's like, I'm glad you're standing up for us, but like, you could also be like, hey, like, come take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a sense where like it becomes just performative, and that to me is more concerning than queer baiting and using the struggles of like other marginalized queer people to like profit off of that, or to make you look good, whether people realize they're doing it or not. I think that's the type of like queer baiting I'm like more concerned about. And
so what can the music industry do to be more inclusive, in your opinion?
I think like one small thing that they could start doing is like actually fucking monitoring their social media pages. Is like, how many times can like a record label or whatever post it is like share someone like Sam Smith, for example, and just allow the comments to be violently transphobic? Like, why are there not people monitoring? Like, it's like, it's like you're just allowing these people to be hateful and allowing these people to like spew whatever fucking rhetoric. Like, if you're actually wanting to like protect the artist you're representing, like, because I know it's happened to me before. Like, I've like been shared somewhere, and then I go read the comments, and it's like, oh, all the comments are these people being like, what is this thing, and whatever it is, you know. And it's like, or not standing up for in those moments of being like, we don't allow that type of hate speech on this platform. Like, I think that's like a smaller ask that I would love to see just like the industry itself work on, is like being, instead of being like, look, we're sharing queer artists, it's like, no, like we're sharing queer artists, and also like we're actually standing up for like the backlash that they receive. I just know from like personal experience, I've had that happen to me, and I think that's something that's like an easy task that can be asked. Just actually put effort into where you're saying, like, are you just like, yeah, we love this artist, but like when it actually comes to like, look what actually is happening, like, where are you then? Just like put some more effort into it. I would just love to see just overall more effort. And also like just something as simple as like, there shouldn't be a space where like everyone's, I think like everyone's pronouns should be like very easily accessible. Like if there's writing should be set up, like everyone's pronoun should be on there, and it should be very clear so that everyone has access to it. That like, even if there's a mistake right off the bat, it's easy to be like, oh shit, sorry, it was in my notes, like let me take care of it, I'm not gonna do it again, you know. It's like,
right. And mistakes happen, like,
right, like mistakes are gonna happen, but it's like, I've been at like Kentucky in a Pride, and like the drag queens who were like introducing me on stage like violently misgendered me. And then when like my own fans were in the audience being like, hey, like they use they them pronouns, they were like fighting with my fans being like, no, she's a girl. And it's like, whoa. You know, like mistakes happen, you might not have known right away, but like you're like fucking just move on. Like I think it's like those type of instances, it's like if the resources are there, the mistakes happen less, and then the mistakes happen.
I think it really sucks. I think it really sucks coming from the same community that they're just like fighting you, you know, over pronounced like why?
And it's in it like, it's like older cis gay men, and I get them being older, but also it's like, again, it's like the queer community is so much bigger than cis gay men, and that's something that like I've really realized like this past like over like year, is like how much work there is to do also within the community itself. So it's like, if it's hard to ask the music industry to change when like there's a lot of shit happening within the queer community itself. And those people in the queer community who have certain positions in the music industry, if they're already viewing trans people down, fuck, are we gonna ask the people above them who aren't even queer to do better, you know? So I think it's like I think just overall, like there's just more. It's just the whole idea is like are you willing to like give up your comfort so that you can help, like, because to help the rest of your community. It's like, it's not that big of an ask. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What do you hope your fans can take away from your music?
I hope that they can see themselves in a sense of like, I really wish I had the representation. I wish I had like someone like me, like without being in a, you know, very vain way. Like I wish I had someone like me when I was growing up. Like I want to be the artist.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't have growing up. Like being open about gender exploration and gender expression and just gender identity in general, and queerness and queer pain and queer love and anything, because everything I do is going to be like from a queer lens. So I hope that my fans, when they hear my music, that they just see themselves in it, and they see that like they're valid and their existence is valid, and their stories are valid, and that we are deserving of taking up this space and deserving of sharing our stories. I think that's like my biggest thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have a favorite song that you've written?
A lot of this new record is my favorite.
Okay.
There's a lot of like songs on here that I'm really proud of. I think What Would the Neighbors Think is actually one of my more recent favorite songs that I've written and done. I really love the production on it. I co-produced it with JT Roach, who was one of the co-writers on it, and then Emily Haber was one of the other co-writers on it. And I just it felt so right in that room to write the song, and they created such a space for me to share, my story and how we came, to make this song. And then just the production feels so right, and it feels, I'm just very proud of the song and how it turned out. So I think, like, as of right now, that's probably one of my more favorite songs. And then I Walked a Mile in My Room is also another one of my favorite songs I've done. That was a song that I just, like, at like midnight one night, I was like just by myself in my studio, and I was just like stressed out, and I just like wrote that song. And then just like, it's also one of my favorites to perform live because it's just like, it feels so good to sing. But a lot of this new record is some of my most, favorite music I've done. So I'm very excited to let everyone hear that finally.
Yeah. So how do you go about writing, or what you choose to write about? Like, is it like, oh, this just happened to me, I want to write a song about it? Or is it more like you're just feeling that way and you end up writing something about it?
It kind of depends. So, like, for this record, for example, like, in the beginning it happened like that horrible piece of shit ex-team member of mine fired, and I was like, this next record, I'm gonna rip this guy to shreds. And so it was like, I sat down very intentionally writing about my experience with him. And then after a couple songs, I was like, all right, it can't all be about just him. And also I want to explore into more of like these heavy emotions that I'm feeling. And I had a lot of sessions planned, and I would kind of go into these, just be like, I would have an idea of like the type of song I wanted to write. And I just am a big believer of like, when writing with people, like, I love to just talk with them for a couple hours and just get to know these people and let them know me, and, just talk and be people connected and just see what happens from that. I've met some incredible writers like while making this record, and a few of them like I brought back to write again, like on another song for the record, because it just, once I find my people, like, it's just like, I just want to work with only those people. And so well, with the Neighbors thing, for example, this person that I'm dealing with, like, we had some, like, I had a pretty shitty morning that morning because they had told me something that like really hurt, and to the point where I almost couldn't have the session. But I went to the session and I told them, and I just like, they just let me talk and vent. And I was like, this is what I'm feeling, like, this is what I want to share. And so then we, did that. And so that's kind of how this record worked. It was like, every time I had a song, something that I was dealing with, or if I knew a session was going to happen, or I just wanted to talk and like get my feelings out and just like relate to people. And it's like, how do we write a song if we're not even on the same wavelength, So it was a lot of like talking first, and then the songs, as we did that. I think that answered your question.
Yeah. So in terms of like being a musician, do you have a favorite part of it?
I feel like there's this like question in the industry as artists, is like, when making a record, do you prefer making the record, or do you prefer when it's out and you're performing the record? And I go back and forth on this. I think ultimately my favorite part is once it's out and it's performing it and sharing it and bringing it to life. I love making it, like, of course that's why I do it. But there's something so special of like, because this happens so many times with these songs, is like starting it and knowing there's a good idea, but like sometimes it took days or weeks to like figure out how I wanted to get to the end point. And I would just remind myself of like, remember how good it feels once you've gotten it back mastered and you've gotten that point, and then you're like, this is a fucking song, and this is like the story. Like, so that kind of got me through like getting there, is like, I know that feeling of like getting it back and being like, I have this record to share and talk about and perform. I think that's my favorite part, is like performing the songs and just sharing the story. Like, there's something so fucking surreal about being in a room with people, and like, first off, hearing your lyrics back will never get old. Like, and I'm still haven't even performed like that big of stuff yet, so like I can't even fucking comprehend what it will be like, hopefully one day when it's like a lot more people than it is now. But like, to have that, and to have that connection of like singing together something that I wrote that we're connecting on is just like my favorite fucking thing. I love performing and just being able to share the songs and bring something new to them in, you know, a live sense, and just connecting with people. And that's my favorite part, is like after the record's done, is like performing it.
So you just talk about performing. What can you tell us about the show you have coming up in LA?
So I have a show a week from today. It's my first headline show in 2 years. No, 2 years, I think. It's cool because I'm playing at the Moroccan Lounge, and it's a venue that I opened for one of my good friends, Dana Williams, right before COVID hit. So that was the last time I'd played at that venue. I was opening for one of my friends, and I was like still very new in this world, and I hadn't put out the record, like my first record yet. I just like I put out an EP, and I just played an acoustic set with like one other guitarist, and it was very just like I wasn't out as non-binary yet. I was like, I'm like a whole different person. And so it's like really cool to like, after these couple of years where I've grown so much as a person and as a queer person and as an artist, like to now step back into that venue and headline, it feels just very special to be like, now like Miki Ratsula is here. Like they know who I are as a person and as an artist. They were very lost a couple years ago, but like, I know who I am, and I'm excited to just share that and be like, here we are. Like now, like let's start from here now, you know? So it's cool to go back to that venue after all this time and to come back in this sense. And I'm excited to perform so many new songs, you know, and play, you know, I haven't, the 2 singles that I've put out so far yet, Jealous of My Brother and What Will the Neighbors Think, I've never performed live before. So that's exciting. I hope people learned the lyrics because they've been out. And then performing a couple new songs from the upcoming record. So I am excited to hear how people respond to them, because there's some little trickies up my sleeve. So it'll be fun. It'll be really fun. Feels right.
Kind of sad because I wanted to go, but it's Monday and I don't drive, and
I don't drive either. I it's funny because we were gonna have it on Sunday. We were torn between Sunday and Monday, but Sunday's Mother's Day. And so it was like we got to pick one of these days. Like there's pros and cons to both of them. And I was like, if it was Sunday, it was like, because we're going to my fiance's like childhood friend's wedding this weekend, like right before the show. And so we had it Sunday. She wouldn't be able to come because she didn't make it back in time. That's why we ended up picking Monday. So I'm sorry. We were going back and forth for so long. But damn.
I would love to, but you know, I will be out in Boston, so a little difficult. But if you ever come play a show out here, I will definitely come see.
I hope to. My goal is to go on tour again, in some capacity, in the fall. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's, you know, that works out. That would be the goal.
Yeah,
that's the goal. Just whether it's me or opening for someone or whatever it is, but that's the goal. So it will happen.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I'm manifesting lately, so it will happen.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, well, definitely let us know before your new record and potential tour, and we can come back on and we can talk about it on here.
Amazing. I would love that.
That would be fun.
That'd be real fun. Yeah.
Exciting.
Who are some of your biggest musical influences?
Okay, so Adele is my hero. Adele, I don't know what I would do if I met that woman. She is the greatest thing. She's just like, her music, like when I heard it in middle school, it was like, holy shit. You know, it was like, I was like, what, fucking 14, and I was like, this is the best music I've ever heard. Like it, like that, like her music and just her persona on stage, like I was like, I want to be that. Like I want to be this comfort person to people. It was like the way Adele's music made me feel, and the way like I got one, I forget what show it was, but I saw her. I got a DVD of like one of her live shows that I would just watch over again, and like so like I knew every bit, but I would like just watch it again, and I like there was some, I was like, I can't wait to go to Adele concert one day. And there was something so just like comforting about how she was on stage. Like she just like was so fucking funny and just such a good person. So I have always loved Adele, and I've always been inspired by her songwriting and her music. And she is someone I literally could not tell you what I would do if I knew I was in the same room with her. And then Ed Sheeran's first 2 records, the Plus and Multiply, are my favorite pieces of work, and those also heavily shaped my songwriting. Like I remember when I heard those, I would listen to those for inspiration for like lyrics and melodies. And so like those 2, like Ed Sheeran, that era, and then Adele Forever, are like kind of like my all-time, like have always been, like for these last like 10 years. I've been 10, I don't know why I said 10. Yeah, I guess 10 years that I've been like really just into music and making music has been those 2. But more recently, I'm a fucking massive Muna fan. I'm obsessed with Muna, and in not a creepy way. I want them to like me. I really love their music. I love who they are and what they stand for, and they're like a dream collaboration is Muna. Like I would be over the moon to collaborate with them. They've really inspired me recently with music and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. And so then, what advice would you give to people that are listening, trying to get their foot in the door of the industry?
Be patient with yourself and be patient with all of it, because you will run into people who want to take advantage of you as like as a younger artist or a smaller artist, whatever age you are. Like there are people who will, like, you got to really be patient, because I've had that experience with people who end up not being great, and you think they are because they come to you with such like flashy words and everything, and then you realize they just want money and whatever. So like you really want to be patient with the people you build, because like ultimately, like when you really find a good connection, whether it's on the business side or the creative side, like once you have that, like it just makes it so much more enjoyable and also safer, and you're really building a team behind you. So like trust your instincts, be patient with yourself, and be patient with what you're building, because it will happen and it will come together naturally. Like I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason. The people that I've met in my life, and the reason, it's like it's taken me this time to build this circle that I have, but it came once I was patient and stood up for myself and made sure I was like putting myself first and not just like jumping at any opportunity, as flashy as it is. Just like patience is huge.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think people come into the industry and think that things are just gonna happen, in a month or in a week, or sometimes it takes a lot longer.
It would be nice.
I mean, it would. Believe me, it would be really nice.
Yeah, it's just like the reality. Like, unfortunately, there's a lot of fucking horrible people out there, and sometimes it takes having a horrible experience with someone to like learn that and to be wary and to know what type of questions to ask. But also, you don't necessarily have to have that experience if you're mindful beforehand. But yeah, just be patient, because like you will build your circle, and when you have your circle, you will become unstoppable. Like once you have your circle, it feels so good, and you have like this safe space to create music and to be creative and to just like be fucking artists,
Yeah. Okay, so to finish off, we have one last question, and it's, what is the soundtrack of your life?
Oh, soundtrack isn't like a whole list of songs.
It is for you to interpret however you want. That's the best part about the question.
Oh, it's a great question, and I feel like I have an answer, but I'm blinking out on what it is. You know what? I have always really liked the movie 500 Days of Summer. That's a movie that I love. And that soundtrack is incredible. So maybe even just like that soundtrack,
the whole soundtrack,
or the soundtrack from Monsters Inc. One of the two.
Interesting.
One of those comfort movies.
Yeah.
And it's like,
interesting.
Yeah, that just feels so like I think actually the Monsters Inc. Everything goes back to Monsters Inc. I think the Monsters Inc. soundtrack moves the emotions very well, and I think probably relates to my life. Or it would be like, no, that would be it. But yeah, 500 Days of Summer has a great soundtrack, but in to my life, Monsters Inc. is more appropriate.
It's very interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to go listen to it now. Make sure I didn't give up.
Yeah, so thank you for coming and talking to us. It's been amazing. Do you want to drop your socials so that everyone can follow you?
Yes, my social media everywhere is just Miki Ratsula. I'm quite literally the only one to exist, so it's not
That's very cool.
it's not hard to miss, as long as you spell my name Miki, because everyone thinks it's Mickey. So it's just Miki Ratsula. So that anywhere and everywhere is that's me.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
So nice speaking with you, and I really enjoyed this, and I enjoyed talking about diarrhea with you. And then getting really serious right after.
Yeah. We like to do the like fun, like the simple questions, and then break it up with like a fun thing, and then get serious. Because it kind of breaks the ice, makes it easier.
That was great. No, I appreciate it. That's good. No, and I will be thinking about it the rest of the day.
Okay. Listeners, go check it out and make sure to subscribe and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at STO Lives Podcast. Thanks for joining us.